In feudal Japan, a young warrior named Takeshi stood before his master, trembling with frustration. "Sensei," he said, "I have trained for years. My technique is sharp, my body is strong. Yet when I face a real opponent, my mind betrays me. Fear grips my heart, doubt clouds my judgment. One unexpected move from my enemy and I freeze like ice. How can I become unshakable?" The master smiled and handed him a stone. "Tomorrow, bring this stone to the river. Place it in the water where the current flows strongest. Then try to move it with your bare hands." Takeshi spent hours in the freezing water, pushing against the stone with all his strength. But the stone would not budge. The current pressed it firmly into the riverbed, unmovable despite the chaos swirling around it. Exhausted and confused, he returned to his master. "You see," said the master, "the stone does not resist the water. It does not fight against the current. Yet nothing can move it because it rests on a foundation deeper than the surface chaos. This is Fudoshin, the immovable mind. Not rigid, not frozen, but so deeply rooted in the present moment that external storms cannot shake it." This teaching reveals the essence of one of the most powerful concepts in samurai philosophy. Fudoshin, which literally translates to immovable mind or immovable heart, is not about becoming hard like steel or emotionless like stone. It is about developing a mind so clear, so present, and so unattached that nothing external can disturb its fundamental stability. The concept comes from Japanese martial arts and represents a state of equanimity or imperturbability. It is the state of mind filled with courage, composure, endurance, and determination to overcome every obstacle. But here's what most people misunderstand. An immovable mind is not a mind that refuses to move. It is a mind that cannot be captured, cannot be stopped, cannot be controlled by external circumstances or internal chaos. Think about this carefully. In modern life, we face constant battles, not with swords but with stress, pressure, uncertainty, and emotional turbulence. A difficult conversation with your boss makes your heart race. An unexpected bill creates panic. A criticism from someone you respect fills you with doubt. A sudden change in plans triggers anxiety. In these moments, your mind stops. It gets stuck on the problem. And when your mind stops, you become powerless. The ancient warriors understood this danger intimately. They identified what they called the four sicknesses of the mind: fear, doubt, surprise, and captivation. These four enemies can destroy even the most skilled warrior, and they destroy our effectiveness in daily life just as completely. Let's explore each of these sicknesses, because recognizing them is the first step to developing Fudoshin. When your mind is taken by fear, it displaces everything else in your mind and spirit, distorting your thoughts and hampering your true intent. Fear makes the challenge appear larger than it really is. It convinces you that you cannot handle what's coming. And most importantly, fear is generated by a mind that wanders to the future, imagining terrible outcomes that may never occur. When the mind is presented with too many options and is uncertain about which path to pick, doubt creates openings in your armor. An indecisive mind remains frozen in analysis, making no choice at all. And making no choice can be worse than making the wrong choice, because at least action teaches you something valuable. A surprised mind is not prepared, and the warrior needs to be ready to face each and every situation. When you're caught off guard, time seems to stop, your breathing halts, your concentration shatters. In that split second of shock, you've already been defeated. Surprise happens when awareness is incomplete, when you're not truly present in the moment. Whenever you linger on any thought, your mind becomes captivated, and it needs to let go of thoughts as quickly as they form. Captivation occurs when you get stuck analyzing one detail while the bigger picture continues to unfold. Your mind becomes like a photograph when it needs to be like a flowing stream. Now here's the profound truth the samurai discovered. These four sicknesses are all interrelated, and one leads to another. Surprise leads to fear. Fear creates doubt. Doubt causes you to overthink and become captivated. And captivation makes you vulnerable to surprise. It's a vicious cycle that traps most people in perpetual mental weakness. But Fudoshin breaks this cycle completely. When you develop an immovable mind, external circumstances lose their power over your internal state. You can face difficulty without being consumed by fear. You can encounter the unexpected without being paralyzed by surprise. You can make decisions without being crippled by doubt. You can think clearly without becoming trapped by single thoughts. So how do you actually develop Fudoshin in your daily life? The path is not mysterious, but it requires understanding and consistent practice. The first essential practice is learning to root yourself in the present moment. Fear is only generated through a wandering mind that travels to the past or anticipates the future. When your awareness stays completely in the now, fear has no place to grow. This means training yourself to notice when your mind drifts. You're sitting in a meeting, but your mind is already jumping to the argument you might have later. You're having dinner with family, but you're mentally replaying the mistake you made yesterday. Each time you catch your mind wandering and bring it back to this moment, you strengthen your Fudoshin. The second practice involves developing Zanshin, or continuing awareness. This is the warrior's habit of maintaining complete alertness to surroundings, potential threats, and evolving situations. The warrior who understands Zanshin will never be surprised because the mind lives in the now and never wanders. In practical terms, this means paying attention to subtle cues in your environment, noticing patterns before they fully develop, and staying alert to changes as they begin rather than after they've already happened. The third practice is training your mind to move like water rather than like ice. The mind should be totally reflective like a clear pool on a moonlit night, reflecting the perfect image without distortion on its surface. This means experiencing thoughts and emotions without getting stuck on them. A thought arises, you notice it and it passes. An emotion appears, you feel it and it flows through. Nothing captures your mind, nothing stops your awareness. Here's a practical exercise you can begin today. Sit quietly for just 5 minutes. Watch your thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. When a worry appears, don't fight it or feed it. Simply notice it and let it pass. When excitement arises, acknowledge it without clinging to it. When doubt emerges, observe it without believing it. This simple practice trains the fundamental skill of Fudoshin, the ability to remain centered while internal weather changes. The fourth practice is building your foundation through preparation and training. Doubt stems from questioning your own expertise, and the way to safeguard against it is through incessant training. When you've practiced something thousands of times, your body and mind know what to do without conscious thought. Doubt cannot survive in the presence of deep preparation. But here's what makes Fudoshin truly powerful in the modern world. You don't need to become a warrior to benefit from this state of mind. In this era of global conflict, social violence, and relational tension, the cultivation of Fudoshin in our dealings with people, situations, and environment can make our lives better. Imagine approaching a difficult conversation with Fudoshin. Your boss is angry, but their emotion doesn't capture your mind. You remain calm, present, able to listen clearly and respond wisely. Imagine facing a major life change with Fudoshin. Instead of panic or resistance, you meet the unknown with steady awareness, adapting as needed without losing your center. The samurai had a saying that captures this perfectly. Mental calmness, not skill, is the sign of a matured warrior. In our time, mental calmness is the sign of someone who has mastered themselves. Skills can be learned, knowledge can be acquired, but the ability to remain unshaken while everything around you shakes, that is true power. Fudoshin is not something you achieve once and possess forever. It is a quality you cultivate daily through mindful practice. Each moment offers an opportunity to train your immovable mind. Each challenge becomes a chance to test your foundation. Each emotion that arises is an invitation to practice non-attachment. Remember the stone in the river. It doesn't fight the current, it doesn't resist the chaos, but nothing can move it because it rests on something deeper than surface turbulence. Your immovable mind is the same. It doesn't mean you won't feel emotions or face difficulties. It means these things won't control you, won't stop you, won't shake your fundamental stability. As you move forward from this moment, ask yourself this question. When the storms come, and they always come, will you be like the leaf that gets carried away by every gust of wind? Or will you be like the stone in the river, unmoved by the surface chaos because you're rooted in something deeper? The path of Fudoshin is open to anyone willing to walk it. Start today. Notice your thoughts without being controlled by them. Face your fears without being consumed by them. Make decisions without being paralyzed by them. And slowly, steadily, you will develop the immovable mind of the ancient warriors. Write in the comments, "I will develop an immovable mind." Thank you for watching.